Hi, and welcome back to Kamado Joe, the thrill of this grill. My name is John Aldaya, and today we're going to be cooking up some steaks. I have me a nice big T-bone steak from the Westphalia Market in Hutto, Texas. We're going to try this T-bone out. I like to get my meat from the meat markets instead of the supermarket when I can. You can see that's a pretty good sized T-bone right there. And with the steaks, I like to keep mine real simple. I'm going to use some seasoned salt on mine, just some Lowry seasoned salt, for a generous amount. This thing is really thick, so put a nice coating all the way around, and then throw some pepper on there. And being such a big thick steak, get both sides real generous. Got a nice fat cap on that, so keep it nice and juicy. We're going to get our temp in our pit up pretty good, so that way we could get a good sear. We're going to be using the 2-rack system, so that way we can sear on one side and then let the heat just cook it all the way through on the other. And so this next steak we're going to do, I picked it up from the Smithville Food Locker, and this one here is going to be a beef sirloin. Doesn't have as much fat on it, so you got to be a little bit more careful you don't overcook it. This thing is a huge steak here. Take a look at that. We're going to do the same thing. Some seasoned salt, not as much, it's not as thick. This will cook a lot faster than the T-bone, so I really have to pay attention to it. And throw some pepper on there, flip it over, do the same thing. A lot of people like to put different types of seasonings on their steaks, and that's all good and well. I find out just simple is real good. I do try other things every now and then, but salt and pepper seems to do the trick for me. So once our temperature is up to speed, we'll get the steaks out there on the pit, and that's where we'll see you next. Alright, we've had our steaks sitting on the salt and the pepper. Our pit's got up to temperature. I threw some potatoes on for a side item. And so now we're going to use the divide and conquer system. I'm going to sear the T-bone first because that's a bigger cut of meat. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook than that sirloin. So come on over and check out the setup here. Got that nice big juicy steak. We're going to throw that on right over the direct heat, and we're going to let that go for about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes aside, and then we're going to flip it and see what it looks like from there. So we'll be checking that out here in a couple of minutes. I always set my timer just so that way I don't do it too early or too late. So we'll set that up over here. And once I flip it and get it seared on the other side, I'm going to move it over to the higher, off the direct heat, direct flame, and just let the heat itself cook that steak all the way through. Now this sirloin here, you can tell it's a lot thinner. It is a big piece of meat, but it's a lot thinner. It's going to probably only take about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes each side, and then move it off to the indirect and let it cook all the way through. I like mine medium rare, and that's the way it's going to come out. Alright, it's been about 3 minutes. I'm going to flip it over. It's got a nice good look to it. I'm going to leave this on for about 3 minutes and move it over to the indirect side. Alright, so we have this steak T-bone that's been on for a couple of minutes each side. Got a nice good color there. Now I'm going to throw this sirloin on. And that thing won't take much at all. Alright, we've had this meat out for 2 minutes. Gonna flip it over, do 2 more minutes on this side. Probably move this steak over onto some more direct. Okay, looking good. Alright, now the sirloin's been over there for a bit. I'm gonna move this up to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna just move these steaks down, let them cook a little bit more thoroughly. This T-bone's got a lot of thickness to it, so I'm going to put this back over some direct heat and let it cook all the way through. We'll give it about 3 minutes on this side and then flip it 3 more minutes on the other side and it's probably going to be done. Let it rest for a few minutes, cut into it, and see how it looks. Okay, our steak's been resting. You can see the juices up on top there. And now, you can see the juices there on the side. We're just going to cut right into this. Cuts nice and easy. Right into that bone. And you can see that color on there. Take a look at that meat right there. And that's how we want it, medium rare. So enjoy your next steak, and we'll see you soon.